What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Geek Out? What the hell happened to the Godzilla Block Party? We're going to come to that next week. We're definitely going to bring back Godzilla Block Party. Take a week hiatus from that. Next week's Godzilla Block Party for all you ladies and gentlemen out there who remember fondly the 1998 movie. We're going into that one because it's anniversary time for that movie. But this is the Geek Out, and it's just me today. It's just me flying solo because there's a couple of things that I want to talk about that has happened recently that I would like to, kind of get off my chest in terms of geek stuff. So, that all being said, I want to, first off, say happy birthday, happy 6th birthday to Legendary Godzilla, because today, May 16th, 2020, is the 6-year anniversary of Legendary's Godzilla, and this is a movie that I unabashedly love. It is my favorite Godzilla movie for the, since Toho, no, let me rephrase that, since Final Wars, because everything else that's come after that, it just has not, in my opinion, met, what met my expectations, except for Gareth Edwards' 2014 Godzilla. And, I know a lot of people really don't like that movie. A lot of people get mad at lack of screen time for Godzilla, whatever Ford Brody, whatever the case may be. I have zero problems with any of that stuff. When Godzilla is on screen, it is some of the most fantastic Godzilla imagery ever in anything. And yeah, and I've said this a million times on Godzilla Block Parties and just previous podcasts. If there was one thing I would change about that movie is I would never have killed Bryan Cranston off. That was a dumb move. They should have kept him alive. And he should have been a part of this MONSTERVERSE universe because I think that character would have fit in perfectly. It is a typical Toho archetype character, and I think it would have been beneficial because Bryan Cranston's a great actor and he really wanted to be in this movie, and I think he just got shortchanged in it because I honestly think he would have been fantastic going forward, and it would have given, in all honesty, King of the Monsters a little bit more of a serious tone than the goofy Michael Bay comedy joke skit things that they tend to lean into in that movie. But enough of that. Super shout out to G14, 6 years old today, man. I remember I had just moved out here to Vegas, and that movie, honestly, at that point in time, I don't even think we knew if that movie was coming out or not. It was still in kind of a limbo. And then, within that first year I was out here, boom, all of a sudden it's like, this thing is full steam ahead. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy crap. Now, there was nobody out here that I knew. Me and my family just packed up and came out, from New York City, from Brooklyn, New York, and just flew out here and put the roots down. So we had nobody out here. All of my friends and family that love Godzilla was still back east in Brooklyn. So when this movie came out, yes, you could best believe, because I am a diehard Godzilla fan like that, I bought a ticket and flew back to New York just to see this with my brother and G2 and the whole G-Show fam out there. And, I'll be honest, I was jet lagged, one. And maybe I had one too many beers in G2's house earlier that day, because I kind of conked out and totally missed the first time when Bryan Cranston died. Now, I'm talking, this is opening night, 7 p.m. show. This was the first time we ever gotten a 7 o'clock show. I think it was the first time I recall there being a 7 o'clock show. And I was like, there's a 7 o'clock show, not a midnight show? This is genius. So, yeah, but I kind of conked out and totally missed Bryan Cranston dying. I woke up and I was like, hey, man, where's Bryan Cranston? They were like, he died. I'm like, what? But that was no part, no fault of the movie. That was on me. Like I said, I was jet lagged and one too many at my buddy G2's house. So, but I was up and at him for all of the rest of the movie, especially all the fantastic Godzilla scenes and imagery. And good God, that kiss of death at the end, still one of the greatest things I've ever seen the big guy do. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. It's what it was. I loved it. It's one of my favorite things in all of Godzilla. Look, it goes like this. And, You take it how you want to. It goes the atomic pulse, then of course the atomic breath, but that kiss of death is like right there because you've never seen Godzilla do anything like that. I mean, Kong has his I'll break your jaw and play with a thing. Yeah, Godzilla just, he spits his atomic breath. But to grab that Muto, hold open its mouth, and just spit atomic death upon right down its throat. Oh, God, it was one of the best things I've seen. That year was just a fantastic year. Good God almighty. That got me, out of my chair. The theater went crazy. We were in Times Square. We were in the AMC in Times Square. We were in the AMC in Times Square. And yeah, man, that theater just popped. The freaking went crazy. I loved it. And yeah, man, it's just one of my favorite memories, man, of seeing Godzilla on the big screen. That and the time I saw Final Wars on the big screen, even though it wasn't like technically on the big screen. It was in an art house theater, but still, it worked, and that day was fantastic too. But I'm not even gonna get into that. That's a podcast for another time. But yeah, 6 years old, G14. I still honestly believe it holds up. Again, it's still my favorite Godzilla movie. Over the past decade. To me, it trumps Shin Godzilla. It trumps King of the Monsters. It trumps Kong Skull Island. And I know that's not a Godzilla movie, but it's set in the MONSTERVERSE. And Godzilla, you can hear at the end of the movie and actually see on the cave painting. It trumps the Netflix anime trilogy. And that's just, again, my opinion. Of course, y'all probably like, nah, that shit is whack. But that's up to you to decide. And hey, I can't say otherwise, although you're wrong. But I digress. I love the movie. I really do. And like I said, I think it still holds up. The special effects are great. Godzilla looks fantastic. I love the marketing campaign for that thing. It worked better than what they... And it's unfortunate, but it worked better than what they did for King of the Monsters. King of the Monsters marketing campaign was strong. I will give them that. But I think it was too much. Way too much. That second trailer, I've gone on record 1 billion times. Here's 1,000,000,001. That second trailer that dropped the January 2019 was the greatest trailer for any movie I have ever seen, and it just so happened to be Godzilla, one of my all-time favorite things. I'm telling you, that had the right amount of monster action and human plot. They just fucking went perfect together. They showed enough, and that's where it should have ended. It was enough to intrigue anybody, but nope. They couldn't keep they couldn't keep it in their pants. They had to keep going. They had to keep showing. And I think that's one of the reasons why G14, succeeded where King of the Monsters failed, where it should have succeeded, because not only are we getting Godzilla, but we're getting Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. I mean, good God almighty, you got the Toho trifecta with Godzilla. That's insane. But I think that's one of the reasons why it failed, is because they did show too much, and they did put too much out marketing-wise, and it didn't have to be. If they would have left just a little bit of mystery for the audience, and whether it's for the hardcore Godzilla fans like myself, or for the casuals, just people who like to go to the movies to have a good time. I think they showed way too much, and ultimately it doomed King of the Monsters. Whereas they weren't showing a lot leading up to G14. That it was honest. That marketing campaign was the perfect amount of what they needed to show. And I mean, it had people in the fandom speculating. Remember when the flying Muto goes down into the water? Was that Rodan? Is Rodan confirmed? One of the biggest things ever. Hashtag Rodan confirmed. Not. I loved it. But it is what it is. I love that movie, and it's crazy. Like, today makes 6 years. 6 years since that movie came out. Unbelievable. In the 6-year time since that movie came out, what has happened? Let's see. The Brodies went on to make Avengers movie. One got killed in it. Everybody's favorite Brody, Ford, got killed in that second Avengers movie. And Lady Brody, Scarlet Witch, she's alive and well and thriving. Thriving in the MCU. Doing a damn thing. Kicking ass. I hope. And this is the Geek Out. This isn't a Godzilla block party. So I'm going all over the place with this. But I hope somehow in that WandaVision show coming on Disney Plus, they bring back Quicksilver, Ford Brody, and there's a reunion between Wanda and Pietro. Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch. I would love it. Give my man Ford Brody back on there. Oh, good God. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Get him back in there. Boom. And yeah, man, just take it from there. But I know a lot of people hate that dude for Godzilla. I liked him. He was serviceable. He was no Bryan Cranston, nor was he Ken Watanabe. But, you know, again, I digress. So, yeah, I love that movie. Iconic scenes. I love the mystery build. I thought Gareth Edwards knocked it out of the park with this. One of the most fantastic endings to a Godzilla fight of all time. Seriously. And yeah, it's just, I can gush about that for an hour, but I'm not going to, because this is not going to be a typical hour-long podcast, especially it's not going to be about Godzilla. This is going to be about half hour. And right now I've hit the 10-minute mark, going into the 11-minute mark, so I'm going to change gears here. One more time. Super shout out and happy birthday to G14, Legendary's Godzilla. Without you, this MONSTERVERSE and the Monarchverse would not be around, and we will not be, you know, without you, we wouldn't be having King Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong. Hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of this year. Still no word on whether it's still coming out in theaters or going to VOD. We have no clue, but that's that. Second thing I want to talk about, something I want to do geek out about big time, was the ending of the Clone Wars, season 7 of the Clone Wars on Disney Plus. Now, I was waiting. I held off on the show, on the series, not on the series. Let me phrase that. On this season, I held off. I was gonna wait for them all to drop each story arc and then go through each story arc one by one. I did it for the first one. I went through the story arc. I was good. The second one came. I didn't jump on it because the Ahsoka thing started. And my boy, man, he kept calling every day. Did you watch it, dude? I didn't even watch these last 4 episodes. I did not watch this first. The first episode of the last arc. Oh, you gotta watch it. Forget those other ones. No, I can't do it. I'm a continuity guy. I gotta stay in the flow. And it was a couple weeks ago, and again, we're all in this quarantine. I had nothing else to do, and I was like, you know what? Because he was just in my ear. Yo, you gotta watch it. Come on, we gotta talk about it. I can't. We gotta. Because we talk Star Wars, me and my boy. This is my boy. It was my brother. We talk Star Wars. He's like, come on. We gotta talk. Come on. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not. And then I hung up the phone with him, and I was like, man, fuck it. Let me watch these 4 episodes real quick, and then just leave it at that. So I watched the 4 episodes, the second arc, and I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, I dug it. I did. I can't lie. The 2 sisters that, that Ahsoka runs into in the undergrounds of Coruscant, I think we will see those sisters again in some form of live action. There's no doubt in my mind. Totally can see that happening, especially now that we have Ahsoka coming into the live action universe in The Mandalorian Season 2. So I could totally see either one or the other, maybe even both of those sisters being in future live action stuff. If not that, then, I'm pretty sure there's some more animated tales coming soon, which I would love. Especially if it was with, like, Luke, Han, and Leia. Give me that. Hello, people. Right after Return of the Jedi. I'm totally down for that. Anybody, please, want to? No? Anyhow, that's just me. But yeah, so I watched that, and then I was like, they were there. There were 2 episodes were there. The 2 episodes were there, and I was kind of itching for it. I was like, man, maybe, I said, what the hell? I got myself a little snack. I put it on. I watched that first episode. First off, man, it starts off like a movie. Like, it literally had the original, like, this is what blew my mind. It had the original Lucasfilm logo, not the one that comes up and it's sparkly and gray and shiny script. No, like the original green block letters, Lucasfilm, like that neon green. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? That, well, right off the bat, that got me. Then it starts off with like Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're on a bridge. And dude, I loved everything that happened there. The music, everything, it just felt like Star Wars. I was like, this is a different level. This is on a different level. And of course, then you start to realize, well, this is the end of the Clone Wars. Like, this is Dave Filoni's, this is his swan song here with this series. And he's going all out. And good God, does it show. And one of the things that I absolutely love, without going into any spoilers for that whole thing, was the fact that they did not, because this is one of my biggest worries, but the fact that they did not go into any events of Revenge of the Sith, because this last arc is happening at the same time as Revenge of the Sith. So that was one of my biggest concerns. I was like, please don't show Obi-Wan and Anakin doing something that wasn't brought across the screen in 2005 when Revenge of the Sith came out, because I love that movie. I do. Unabashedly love that movie. This might be a reoccurring theme here. People might be like, oh, he likes Godzilla 2014 and he likes Revenge of the Sith. That's right, I do. So I was worried about that. I really was. And they didn't do that. They did not do that. They actually, I mean, I think there's one point in those last 4 episodes, there's one point where Ahsoka speaks to the council and it comes on the heels of a scene from the movie. But the way they did that worked, in my opinion. It was kind of like, it felt like one of those George Lucas crossfades that he does in those Star Wars movies. And I loved it. I was like, man, yeah, I totally buy it. But those last 4 episodes, especially episode 3, when they go to Order 66, I could not, I'm telling you, I could not fathom in a million years this would be as good as it was. It was fantastic. Unbelievably so. And what I really loved is that I watched that Friday, right? The 3rd episode. So I watched, let's say that Tuesday, I watched 6 episodes. I watched the 4 episodes of the 2nd arc, and then I watched the first 2 episodes of this last arc. And I thought they were good. Then that Friday, the 3rd episode of that arc came out, and I said, I don't want to watch this. I should just wait until both of them drop and then watch it back to back. But I couldn't hold out. I couldn't do it. Oh, no, I did actually. I did. I held out. I said, yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to just wait because it can't get any better. But then that Monday, my boy calls me. He's like, did you watch that final episode? I said, no, I told you. I'm waiting until this Friday. I'm going to watch both of them back to back. He goes, no, dude. Mind you, this was now Monday, May the 4th. So it was May the 4th be with you. It was that whole Star Wars thing. He was like, dude, they dropped the last episode today. I said, wait, what? So you telling me they're both out right now? Yes. I jump on, I'll call you back. I jump on Disney Plus. My God, that Order 66, those 2 episodes, man, it ruined me, man. I can't even lie. It ruined me. I sit there. Rex has become a fan favorite of mine. All the way to when Dave Filoni retconned Rex into the Star Wars live action movies and said, hey, you see that trooper with the beard at the end of Return of the Jedi when they were on Endor? Yeah, that's Rex. And I'm like, it sure the fuck is. And I'll tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, true story. That dude always stood out. Since I was a kid, I don't know what it was. That dude always stood out. Maybe it's because my father had a big beard. It wasn't gray like that, but I could always say, hey, that guy would look like my father when he's older, you know? It was something weird, but he always stood out, always stood out. And then 30-some-odd years later, Dave Filoni's like, oh yeah, that's Rex. What? Rex, one of my favorite characters. Not my favorite. That would go to 5. But clone-wise, but Jesus, I was like, yo, for real. So that episode between Ahsoka and Rex, and just, there is so much emotion in there, and then the order comes down, and it, oh boy, when I tell you, I was man-tearing. I said, good God almighty, why you gotta do this to me, Star Wars? Because the last time I cried at Star Wars was December when I seen The Rise of Skywalker, and they weren't tears of joy, it was tears of misery, because I felt like I was failed. I felt like Anakin Skywalker on Mustafar and Obi-Wan Kenobi telling me I have failed you. That's what I felt like with this last trilogy of movies. I felt like Anakin being burnt up on Mustafar because I was hot, I was heated, I was mad. I was like, this can't be. This can't be. Now, mind you, I do like Rise of Skywalker more than The Last Jedi, but I hate them both. You know, you see what I'm saying here? I hate them both. Oh, God. So, yeah, these tears, watching the Clone Wars finale, were tears of joy. With tears of, I know what happens next. And that's one of my things. I have a thing, and it's a bad thing. People make fun of me for this. I have a thing. If I know where it's going, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch. It's hard with prequels. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, eh. But the prequels were different because it was like, okay, it's Anakin's story. And in my head, I was like, we're going to go see the Clone Wars. Because they talk about the Clone Wars, and that's a big part of Anakin's history. And we don't see that in the live action movie, so I was disappointed in that during the prequels. But then when we get it in anime form, it's mind boggling. I love the Clone Wars. I love the series, and it ended fantastically, absolutely fantastically. One of the seldom times where I could say, yeah, I know where this is all heading, but fuck me, the journey was well worth it. So, yeah, that was that. And I had to just throw that in there, too, because that was a big geek out moment for me, too. So, let's see. Let's recap now. For the past 20 minutes, I geeked out about Godzilla 2014, and it turning 6 years old to date. That's crazy. And then I just geeked out about the final season of Clone Wars on Disney Plus, which, again, people, if you haven't seen it and you like Star Wars, go watch it. Watch it. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. And then go and watch yourself some Rebels. Just go to season 2. Start from season 2 and then just go from that. And then now lastly, rumors and speculations, okay? Rumors and speculations. I don't know if these are true or not. So I can't consider any of this spoiler material. But and again, I don't know how true this is, like legit, if this is going into effect this way or not. But right now we're going to focus on the future of the Star Wars movies, the live action shit. Everything that's going on, I'll just say the Star Wars universe, actually, because from what's going on right now within Disney is there has been a paradigm shift. The creative control that Kathleen Kennedy had apparently is seemingly being taken away from her. Now, you can just look at, the fan base and the hate. And a lot of people, now, don't get me wrong, you got people who jump on who like these movies. You got old school fans who like them. And then you got, people like me who don't. And I don't hate them. I just said I hate The Last Jedi. I do. But I don't hate, let's say, I don't hate the actors. I don't hate the idea of these movies. I hate the execution. Well, I do hate the idea of The Last Jedi. I'm lying completely. I hate that movie. I hate it. It's the worst Star Wars movie. It really is. You think Attack of the Clones was the worst Star Wars live action movie? It's not. The Last Jedi, and that's because of my fanboy isms and Luke Skywalker being one of my favorite heroes of all time, just getting completely wasted. Anyhow, I'm going off on a tangent I shouldn't go on. I want to talk about this future and the apparent stuff going on behind the scenes at Disney, which is Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, who is stepping down, is working with his replacement, another Bob Chapek, if I'm not mistaken, to reformat, and I use that term lightly because I don't want to say retcon, but it's a retcon, the Star Wars universe. They have taken Jon Favreau. They have, it seems, promoted Dave Filoni, thank God, and brought back George Lucas into the fold, which is insane, because I'm like, Lucas was counting his billions, and, oh, you want me back because those movies were crap? Okay, I got an ideal 5. And they're using these 3 dudes, this trinity, if you will, as the basis for a brand new Star Wars saga. And again, I don't know how true this is. This is all rumors and speculation right now. All I do know that is a fact is Kathleen Kennedy has hired, I don't know the woman's name, but apparently she was Harvey Weinstein's assistant. Make of that as you will. But she has hired this woman to produce an all-female Star Wars show, which I think is fantastic. I want to see that. But here's what I'm hearing, and I don't know if this is true or not until it comes from the horse's mouth, or there's an interview and saying, yeah, we're going through these topics. But from what I'm hearing is they're going to focus on real-world issues. Now, I'm not going to go off on a tangent and be like, that's stupid, that's fucking dumb, and blah, blah. Yeah, too many people are doing that shit. What I'm going to say is, it's Star Wars. I don't want real-world issues that, if I'm a person that's depressed, but I love Star Wars and that's my escapism, I don't want to have to deal with real-world issues and then go to my safety zone to deal with real-world issues. Like, that's not fair. Like, come on. I'm here for the escapism of it all, for the Jedi. I don't want real-world politics. I don't want, literally, just, it all boils down to real-world politics. You don't need that in this stuff. The idea, like, just keep all of that stuff away from it. I wouldn't even say that. There's no reason to force it down one's throat, is what I should say. Star Wars should be a fantasy, sci-fi fantasy epic that does not need to turn into a soap opera. It doesn't need to be a novella that my wife be watching upstairs every night. It doesn't need to be that dramatic. It just needs to be fun escapism. The Mandalorian is the perfect example of how you do it. But again, this is all speculation. Until this is actually coming from the horse's mouth, I can't say this is real. But if it is, I'm going to watch it. I'll give it a shot. I'm going to watch 1 or 2 episodes. But at the same time, I want Star Wars. I don't want to feel uncomfortable with certain situations. This is one of the things with Game of Thrones that I was kind of thrown off with when watching Game of Thrones. And again, say what you will of me. I don't care about the romantic side of certain things. You know what I mean? I really don't. You do you. That's the end of that. I don't need to be forced. I don't need to be force fed that. Sometimes in Game of Thrones, bro, there were fucking schlongs just walking around. But I don't want to see that shit, bro. I don't care about that. Look, what are we doing? Just get back with the Khaleesi and her goddamn dragons. Where the hell are the snow zombies? Where are those people? That's what I want. That's my escapism. That's why I'm watching this fantasy show. I don't care about people's relationships. I'm just not into it like that. I really ain't. Unless it's integral to the story and not just shoehorned in. But so that being said, we've got that coming. We know that that's a fact. That show is happening. Whether what people are saying about the show and what they're going to focus on or not is true or not, I don't know. But we know that show is definitely happening, and I'm definitely going to give it a shot. But Filoni, Lucas, Favreau going to retcon, quote unquote, this new trilogy. And again, this is all speculation and rumors. I don't know how true this is, but the idea is, and this is crazy, to bring back Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker. What? What? Look, as a freaking fan, and again, I said Luke Skywalker is like one of my favorite heroes of all time. That got me giddy because the title of Episode 9 is called The Rise of Skywalker. And in my head, once that was applied, that title was applied, then it was implied to me that Luke was coming back to life. And in George Lucas's original Return of the Jedi script, he actually had Obi-Wan Kenobi come back to life. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's there. What Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi was showcase other Force powers. I give that credit. I did like that. In Rebels, Dave Filoni established this, parallel, I wouldn't even say parallel, but this otherworldly dimension where you can go to moments in time and change things. He pulled Ahsoka out of the battle with Vader. And I mean, that's spoilers, but if you didn't see it, but you should have seen it. It was like 3-4 years ago. And it was amazing. I was like, you can totally do that with Luke Skywalker. Just bring him in that. Save him. So I thought they might go that route. They didn't. The Rise of Skywalker turned out to be Rey Skywalker, I'm sorry. At the end. And I didn't buy that. I did not buy it. Did not buy it at all. Again, there was a lot of goings-ons concerning Kathleen Kennedy and meddling with that movie. A lot more is coming out now. You see stars speaking up about it. And that's the crazy part. When you've got your stars, the cast, you got for this new generation speaking out on this. Oh, well, I filmed, I went through 2 months of intensive training to film this lightsaber sequence that didn't make the cut because somebody didn't want it in there. Then what are we doing here, people? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So we go back, we bring this all back to the head. If this is true, if George Lucas's great idea is to use the Wills to bring back Anakin and Luke Skywalker to face, and I know a lot of people might not like this, but to face Emperor Palpatine one last time. Because here's the thing, and I love this about the Emperor. He is probably my favorite Star Wars character, the Emperor. I love him. His ability was it's like almost parasitic. He has the ability to jump his essence into bodies. he says as much in Revenge of the Sith. In the comic books, Dark Empire, he's doing, or Dark Force Rising, he's doing it. No, is it Dark Force Rising? Yeah, Dark Force Rising, Dark Empire. Dark Empire, one of the two. I have it. He does it. He comes back. He jumped his body into a clone body. He's back. It's that. Boom. He's back. And he did it in a Rise of Skywalker. So, I'm just saying, like, if Rey didn't really kill him, even though she obliterated him, the same way Iron Man obliterated Thanos and the rest of his cronies at the end of Endgame. God, I don't even want to revisit that rant. If his essence did jump and they do some crazy shit where they bring back Luke and Anakin through the Force, through the wills, and there's a way to stop the Emperor's essence, dude, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I don't care. Yes, I was a crying fanboy. I wanted my pound of flesh in the form of Luke Skywalker kicking ass and taking names. Not in the form of Luke Skywalker trying to be as philosophical as Yoda, but failing miserably, in my opinion, and not doing anything worthwhile in this new trilogy. It's just a damn shame. It's a damn, when Mark Hamill himself is like, yeah, I got paid. You know there's an issue. So that's that. Anyway, but look, again, fingers crossed. If this is true and that really does happen with Star Wars, I'm going to go nuts. Because I'm already geeking out right now. But if that is true, and we will know within the next year and a half, we will start getting more details revealed to us. But if this is true, count me in. My only thing is, apparently, these 3 movies still stand within the franchise. I'd totally find a way to retcon them all together. I'd have freaking Rey wake up in a cold sweat. Hell, you want to fuck around even next to Kylo Ren, Ben Solo. And he's like, what's the matter? I just had this crazy vision. You were a bad guy. I would do that. I would totally, because I'm stupid like that. I don't care. Retcon and get rid of that shit and start from scratch. But they seem not to be going that route. I don't mind it. They apparently have a huge game plan to incorporate every bit of Star Wars into, one big media bubble. And I can't wait to see how that works out. Because, again, as of right now, I'm not a fan of the comic books. I don't read them because I know where they end up. And to me, the journey's told in A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Anything after Return of the Jedi, I'm interested in. I agree with that. Again, that's what I want the next animated show to be. Give me Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, 3PO, R2. Give me that. Lando. Give me that. Mon Mothma. Admiral Akbar. Give me that. Sweeping up the remnants of the Empire. I'm down with that. That's what I want. Come on. That's what I want. I think, and honestly, all them Star Wars fans that grew up in the 70s and 80s, hell, even the 90s, that's what you want to. You know it. Don't try to convince yourself you got to just be happy with what we got. No, we don't. You see how bad Solo failed? That's because nobody wanted that. And that also had to do with the freaking backlash from The Last Jedi. But, yeah, I rest my case with that because the proof is right there. Those are facts. Anyhow, I'm going to wrap this up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me by myself today on this Geek Out. I haven't done a Geek Out I don't know how long. But I want to thank y'all all for just listening to me geek out about Godzilla and Star Wars, 2 of my most favorite things in the entire world. I absolutely love them. And today, because it is G14's 6th birthday, I'm going to go watch it. And then I'm probably going to go watch 1984, 85, because that is my favorite Godzilla movie. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. I am G1. This is the Geek Out. Peace.